Hi, my name is LaRue, one of the patient care coordinators here at the office, and I have been contemplating getting tattoo removal with the wonderful Kara Crane, our nurse practitioner who does my other lasers for quite a long time. I got a tattoo actually when I felt I was going to be with this person for the rest of my life, but tattoos can last forever unless I get them removed, and that relationship just did not work out. So when I got the name, I was kind of thinking maybe I don't want to get a person's name tattooed on me, but I was like, no, it'd be cute, it'd be fun. You're thinking all those little tattooey type of things that you think when you get a tattoo. And of course I get a big tattoo with a name on it, a flower. It's green, it's red, it's everything Kara Crane hates. She's shaking her head, yes. So this is going to be a tough little process to remove, but I'm eager and excited to correct my mistake now.
Hi, I'm Kara Crane, and as LaRue was talking about this tattoo she wanted to get removed, I was just going to kind of say yes. One of the frequent things we remove here is names. I see a lot of names or wedding bands that we remove. A lot of them is just a bad location. People decide they don't like that location anymore and then they want to get it removed. Get tattoos when they're younger, and then as they get into their 20s or 30s they say, not quite what I had in mind. Or sometimes it's just the artwork. They don't like how the artist did the artwork. They want to get a cover up. Lots of different reasons, but ultimately I'd say names is high up on the list of things that we remove. So LaRue's is pretty light. I'm hoping it will come off well. I always tell patients when we do the tattoo removal process, there's a lot of unpredictability in how well they come off. Is just a lot of variations in how artists do tattoos, how deep they go, how much they layer, the kind of colors they use, how they mix those colors. All those things can impact how a tattoo comes off. And it's just kind of one of those things where we have to do a treatment or two and then we can kind of get a better idea of how it's going to respond. But hers seems pretty light, so I'm hoping we'll be able to get it off nicely.
You can talk.
So what I'm doing now is I'm just injecting the area with some lidocaine, and the majority of patients I do prefer the injection technique because tattoo removal is quite painful, or so patients say. So we here at Contour inject it with lidocaine to numb it up. We also can do topical numbing, which takes the edge off, but it's still quite painful that way. And she has, like she was saying, some real light green and some red and then some black. I've already told her that, especially because she's a darker skin type, she potentially could have some pigment changes with the removal process, but she still wants to go forward with it, even with that risk.
Colors feel different when you remove them?
And you can see, like when I treat it, this wavelength only targets the black. It's like doesn't see the red part. Not this wavelength anyhow. I have a different wavelength I'll use for that. Yes, this one typically, the dark, this is the 1064, and this one typically is the most painful because it's the deepest penetrating one. And the actual process is pretty quick for the removal. I always recommend people wait 5 to 6 weeks in between treatments, if not even 8 weeks. And the reason I say that is, what this laser is doing is just breaking the ink up into smaller particles so that her lymphatic system can take those particles away and her body will dissolve of them. Doing it faster or closer together doesn't make the tattoo go away faster, because her body has to catch up. And we don't want to retarget any of those ink particles we've already broken down into smaller particles. And if we do treatments too close together, that's what we're doing. We're just re-hitting those shattered ink particles. We just haven't given her body time to carry them off yet. Okay, so now I'm going to do the red. This one typically isn't as intense. See, this one has a slightly different reaction just because it's more superficial, which we expect to see. We also use this wavelength for like sunspots or lentigos. Works great for that as well. This one can give little blisters because it is more superficial.
Is there anything I can do to remove the blisters?
No, I mean you shouldn't because my settings aren't that aggressive, but when you are doing a laser that has more of an epidermal impact, it can affect that surface a little bit more, so you're more apt to see those. But with these settings, you should be okay. And now I'm going to switch and use a different wavelength to see if we can get that green out, which is a challenge color. So this is the third wavelength we're using on her, and this is a 650, and this one is for greens. Hers is a real light green, and I explained to her that that can be a challenge for the laser to see, but we're still going to try. Just trying to find the right setting here. This one doesn't hurt nearly as bad, does it, LaRue?
Oh wow, I didn't even know you were doing it. I can't feel anything. I thought you were still looking for the setting or something. Way different than the other one.
I think that the most challenging colors are like a real light green or light yellow, whites, fluorescence. I had one fluorescent, like a green, and that was impossible. Just real light colors the laser has a hard time seeing. But I think honestly with hers, that green is so light. If we removed everything else, I don't even think that would be that, doesn't seem like it'd be that noticeable.
So it's just kind of more blending.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really faint. So I'm pretty sure if we could get the rest of it off, you would be okay with having a little bit of that, remnants of that. And again, another thing I hear a lot is we make a prediction on how many treatments a tattoo will need to be removed. And there's Dr. Kirby and Dr. Desai developed this scale as a way of trying to predict how many treatments are needed to remove a tattoo. And, you know, it's those things I had mentioned earlier, the colors, the depth, if it's a cover-up, obviously you need more treatments. The location is also important. And the further away from the heart is just a little more challenging to remove. So anything down along the ankles or feet, fingers, all those things come into how many treatments might be needed to remove a tattoo. Again, it's just a guideline. It's not a hard and fast rule, but I'd say for you, at least 10. At least 10. Everybody wants a specific number and then a guarantee that at the end it's going to be gone. And unfortunately, like I said, tattoos are challenging to come up with a definitive number of how many treatments will be needed to remove it. But you know, we just kind of throw a number out there based on that scale and then see how it responds and go from there. But on average, I'll tell people 10 to 20 treatments. That's kind of what I typically say. And then you'll oftentimes still end up with a shadow of something there, even at the end of treatments. But no name.
Okay.
No name.
That's the goal right there.
Yeah. And that's it.